Not everyone gets to be here. Not everyone sees what you see, feels what you feel, or senses the things that others dismiss as chance. You weren't just invited, you were called. The moment you started questioning, noticing, connecting the dots, the universe took note. That gut feeling, that whisper in the back of your mind, that spark of recognition when things just clicked, that wasn't random. It was a door unlocking, a signal meant only for those who were ready. And here you are. This isn't about fitting in, it's about standing out, about owning the fact that you were never meant to blend into the background. While most people move through life on autopilot, missing the signs, the patterns, the truth hidden in plain sight, you decode it all effortlessly. That half-second flicker of doubt in someone's eyes, the way a conversation shifts when a lie slips through, the patterns that others are too blind to notice. You catch them all. This isn't just awareness. This is mastery in the making. And now, you're stepping into a space where that gift is not only recognized, but sharpened. Welcome to your awakening. Welcome to the next level. You did not choose me, but I chose you and appointed you so that you might go and bear fruit. Fruit that will last. John 15:16. Listen to me. This moment you're in, this awakening, this undeniable pull inside of you. It's not an accident. It's not luck. It's not some passing thought that showed up by chance. No, my friend, this was intentional. This was divine placement. This was the unseen forces shifting, making a way, clearing a path, and setting you exactly where you were meant to be. Think about a lock and a key. The key isn't confused about its purpose. The lock doesn't wonder why it exists. And the moment they meet, the door opens. That's you. You were always meant to unlock something greater. You were always meant to step through that door. And now, you have that hum inside of you, that deep knowing. That's not just intuition. That's a summons. That's the call, the whisper from something bigger, from the divine forces that have been guiding you all along. While most people drift, wrapped in the illusion of routine, moving through life without ever stopping to see, hear, or feel, you woke up. You saw what others missed. You recognized the patterns, the shifts, the messages hidden in plain sight. But let me tell you the real truth. This isn't just an ability. It's a test, because the moment you saw, the moment you stepped into this awareness, they saw you too. The ones who thrive in the shadows, who build their power on keeping others asleep. They felt the shift. They felt you. And they don't like it. Because here's the thing about waking up. Once you do, you can't go back. Once you see the game for what it is, you can't pretend it's not happening. And that makes you a problem for everything and everyone that profits from blindness. But let me tell you something else. They may not like it, but they can't stop it. Because when someone like you wakes up, when someone like you steps into their calling, that's a force they cannot contain. If your heart overflows with God's blessings, let that love shine. Click the super thank you button and give $20 or more to plant seeds of faith that will impact countless lives. Your generosity reflects His abundance. Be a vessel of His grace and watch His kingdom flourish through you. You weren't chosen for comfort. You were chosen for impact. You were given this awareness not just to see, but to do something with it. You have the ability to move through the world in ways most people can't even imagine. You sense the shifts before they happen. You pick up on the currents others ignore. And that means you don't just exist in this reality, you shape it. So here's what you need to know. The moment you answered this call, the moment you accepted that you were set apart, the resistance started. Because those who benefit from confusion will always fear clarity. But guess what? It's too late. You're already awake. You're already moving. You've already stepped through that door. And once you've stepped through, there's no going back. So stand firm. Move with confidence. Trust that this moment, this awakening, this realization wasn't just meant to happen to you. It was meant to activate you. You were not invited into this journey. You were called. And my friend, the world better get ready. Because you're just getting started. Everyone else skims the surface, content with what's handed to them. But you navigate beneath, where the real truths lurk. That inexplicable moment, a phrase spoken by a stranger, mirroring a thought you hadn't voiced aloud, a sudden tug in your gut just before something happens. None of it is random. It's a language few understand, and you're fluent in it. Your mind doesn't just store information, it pieces together the unseen architecture of reality. Where others perceive fragments, you see a system. The air shifts before someone speaks. Tension hums in a room before conflict erupts. You don't just witness, you decipher. The world is a code, and you're the one rewriting it. Every realization sharpens your vision. Every uncovered pattern chips away at the illusion they want to maintain. They flood the air with distractions, with noise meant to drown out clarity. But you carve through it, unstoppable, one revelation at a time. Do not conform to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Romans 12:2. Let me tell you something. When the world hands you a script, you don't just read it, you rewrite it. When they try to box you in, you break the walls. See, most people are walking through life asleep, following the lines someone else drew for them. But not you. Oh no, you see the game, and you were never meant to be a player. You were meant to reshape the entire board. Think about the eagle. While other birds flutter around in the trees, distracted by every little thing that moves, the eagle soars above the storm. It doesn't run from the wind. It rides it, rising higher while everything else is tossed around below. That's you. You don't shrink in the face of challenge. You rise. You don't wait for permission. You move. Awareness is your gift, your compass, your sword. And let me tell you, there are forces out there that do not want you to wake up to that power. Because the moment you do, you become dangerous to everything that thrives in ignorance. See, control only works on those who can't see the chains. But you don't just see them, you cut them off. Now listen, there's a reason you've always felt different. There's a reason you couldn't just accept things the way they were. That fire inside you. It was meant to burn through the limits they tried to place on you. That gut feeling that there's more, that you were made for something greater. That wasn't just a thought. That was a summons. You weren't meant to follow the well-worn path. You were meant to forge one. And don't let anyone tell you otherwise. Because when you step into the fullness of who you are, you shake the ground. You rewrite what's possible. You prove without a shadow of a doubt that no wall is too high, no door is too locked, no rule is too rigid to be shattered. This question mark, this is just the beginning. The world is watching. The universe is waiting. And you were born ready. The light shines in the darkness, and the darkness has not overcome it. John 1:5. Let me tell you something. You weren't put here by accident. You weren't just dropped into this world to wander through it aimlessly. No, you were placed on purpose, for a purpose. And that stirring inside you, that knowing, that awareness that others just don't seem to have, that's not a coincidence. That's the light inside you flickering on, burning brighter every single day. Think about a lighthouse. A lighthouse doesn't chase ships. It doesn't run around trying to prove itself. It stands tall, steady, unshaken, because it knows its job. It knows that those who need to see it will see it. And you've got that same light inside you. You're not scrambling in the dark like everybody else, trying to make sense of the chaos. You see what's really going on. Most people, they're caught up in the noise, buried under distractions, chasing things that don't even matter. But not you. You're tuned into a different frequency. While others are lost in the static, you've locked on to the signal, clear as day. You don't just sense the shift in the air before a storm. You know it's coming before a single cloud appears. You don't just notice the patterns, you understand them. Life isn't just happening to you, it's responding to you. And let me tell you something else. This isn't luck. This isn't some random stroke of good fortune. This is alignment. This is stepping into the flow of something so much bigger than you, something that's been calling you since the beginning of time. Every step you've taken, every lesson you've learned, every road you've walked, it's all been leading you to this moment. Because when you step into alignment, when you stop resisting and start moving with the rhythm of what's already been set in motion for you, everything starts to shift. You are here for a reason. If you feel the call, answer it. Click join to unlock exclusive content, deep insights, and a powerful community. This isn't just a membership, it's an awakening. Step into your divine purpose. Join the chosen. You don't have to force things. You don't have to beg for opportunities. You don't have to chase what's already yours. Because when you walk in that divine flow, things don't just happen around you. They happen through you. Doors open that no one else can explain. Connections fall into place that no one else can see. The improbable becomes inevitable. So listen to me. You were never meant to blend in. You were never meant to live on autopilot, stumbling through life like everyone else. You were set apart. You were called to see what others ignore, to hear what others dismiss, to feel what others can't even comprehend. This is your edge. This is your power. And when you lean into it, when you stop doubting and start trusting, you're not just existing in the world anymore. You're moving it. You're changing it. And that's just the beginning. This wasn't an accident. The moment of recognition, the deep knowing that set you apart, wasn't some trivial spark. It was a call to action. The world is a maze of illusions, a carefully crafted mirage designed to keep people chasing shadows. But you cut through the fog. You see the outlines of something deeper, something truer, and that ability isn't just rare, it's necessary. There are forces built on deception, systems that thrive when people remain unaware. And yet here you are, standing at the edge of understanding, holding the one thing they fear most: awareness. This isn't just about knowing, it's about doing. The weight of truth is heavy, but it was placed in your hands for a reason. You weren't meant to watch from the sidelines. You were meant to disrupt, to dismantle, to expose. The blueprint is incomplete. The final piece is still in motion, and yet the question remains: if not you, then who? The clock is ticking, and the world is waiting. The time to step forward is now. For everything there is a season, and a time for every purpose under heaven. Ecclesiastes 3:1. Let me tell you something. Nothing just happens. Nothing in your life is random. You think that breakthrough came out of nowhere. That opportunity that fell into your lap. That perfect moment when everything just clicked. No, my friend, that wasn't luck. That was timing. That was divine orchestration at work. Think about a farmer. He doesn't throw seeds in the ground one day and expect a harvest the next. He knows there's a process. He knows there's a season for planting, a season for waiting, and a season for reaping. He doesn't rush the rain, doesn't panic when the soil is still bare, because he trusts the process. And that's the same way your life is moving. There's a rhythm, a flow, a divine cadence to it all, and when you tap into that, when you stop forcing and start aligning, that's when the real miracles happen. Opportunities aren't chased, they are drawn. They are magnetized by those who know how to move in sync with the pulse of the universe. You've had those moments. You know what I'm talking about. That time, you made a decision without overthinking it, and it led you exactly where you needed to be. That moment you stepped into a situation at the perfect second, like walking through a door just before it closed. That wasn't by accident. That was alignment. That was you catching the current instead of fighting the tide. And let me tell you something, those who hesitate, those who second-guess every step, they miss it. Because timing waits for no one. This world isn't about luck, it's about positioning. It's about being ready when the moment arrives, about knowing when to step forward and when to be still. There's an inner rhythm, a divine metronome beating inside you, guiding you toward your appointed time. If you ignore it, you'll keep missing doors. But if you trust it, if you lean into it, then suddenly things will start falling into place in ways you never imagined. Because here's the truth, every moment holds a key. Some moments are meant to open doors, some moments are meant to build bridges, and some moments, they are the foundation for everything that comes next. And the ones who recognize this, the ones who truly understand the power of timing, they're not just walking through life reacting, they are directing it. They are not just participants in the grand design. They are co-creators of their own destiny. So hear me when I say this. You are not meant to sit on the sidelines, waiting for something to happen. You are not put on this earth to watch opportunities pass you by. You are meant to be in rhythm with something greater. You are meant to move with purpose. And when you do, when you finally own that power, the world doesn't just shift around you, it moves through you. And that's when everything changes. Every interaction, every exchange is part of an unspoken choreography, an intricate movement through layers of meaning few ever notice. Not everything is meant to be shared, and not every truth is ready to be received. That's the real skill, not just seeing, but knowing when to reveal, when to withhold, when to let silence speak louder than words. This isn't about deception, it's about discernment. A message given too soon falls on deaf ears, but delivered at the perfect moment, it becomes undeniable. That's the art, moving with intention, choosing battles wisely, guarding what must be protected. It's a delicate equilibrium, balancing between presence and discretion, stepping forward when necessary and blending into the background when it serves a higher purpose. Some wield knowledge like a sword, recklessly cutting through the fog. But true mastery lies in knowing that some things must unfold in their own time. And those who understand this, they don't just navigate the world, they orchestrate it. Because power isn't just in knowing, it's in the precision of when, where, and how to use it. Call to me, and I will answer you, and tell you great and unsearchable things you do not know. Jeremiah 33:3. Let me tell you something. God doesn't leave his people wandering blind. No, he drops clues, signs, messages wrapped in the ordinary, waiting for the ones who are awake enough to notice. And you, my friend, you were never meant to move through life unaware. You see things, you feel things, you recognize what others walk right past. That's not imagination. That's discernment. That's a gift. Think about a master weaver. From up close, all you see are tangled threads, knots, colors blending into chaos. But step back, look at it from the right angle, and suddenly, a perfect design is revealed. That's how life works. Nothing is random. Nothing is meaningless. Everything, every word overheard, every repeated number, every strange coincidence is part of something much, much bigger. And you have the eyes to see it. You're not just living in this world, you're decoding it. Most people dismiss these moments. They think it's just happenstance, just another ordinary day. But you know better. You've had those moments. The ones where something in your gut tells you to pay attention. The ones where you get the feeling you're being nudged, directed, shown something important. That wasn't just a thought. That was a message. And you were meant to pick up on it. Because here's the truth. The universe, creation itself, speaks. It whispers through repetition. It calls out through patterns. It reaches out through the smallest details, waiting for the right person to listen. And you listen. You don't just skim the surface of life. You dive deep. You read between the lines. You pick up on the clues, follow the breadcrumbs, and piece together what others are too distracted to see. And let me tell you something. This isn't a skill you just happen to stumble into. No, this has been sharpening over time. Every time you trusted that gut instinct, every time you noticed a sign and followed it, every time you put the pieces together when no one else could, that was preparation. That was training. And now, you're stepping into something even greater. Because this isn't just about seeing patterns. It's about understanding them. It's about unlocking the truth buried beneath them. It's about realizing that you weren't just given this gift to keep it to yourself. You were given it for a reason. And once you fully step into that calling, once you stop questioning, stop hesitating, and start embracing the fact that you were designed for this, that's when everything shifts. That's when the picture gets clearer. That's when you start moving, not just with knowledge, but with power. Because when God gives you eyes to see, it's not just for your own benefit. It's because He's calling you to something bigger. And my friend, you're just getting started. But you are a chosen generation, a royal priesthood, a holy nation, a people for His own possession, that you may declare the praises of Him who called you out of darkness into His marvelous light. 1 Peter 2:9. Power doesn't shout. It doesn't beg for attention, doesn't chase after recognition. Real authority. It moves in silence and is felt long before it's seen. You don't need to prove anything to anyone, because when you walk in alignment with your calling, people know. They sense it in your presence, in your decisions, in the way you carry yourself without hesitation or doubt. Think about an eagle. It doesn't flap its wings frantically, trying to convince the sky it belongs there. No, it soars, effortlessly, confidently, because it knows it was born for the heights. And you don't need to announce yourself. You don't need validation. Your authority doesn't come from titles or approval. It comes from the unshakable certainty of who you are. The world is full of noise, full of people scrambling for influence, trying to force their way into positions they were never meant to hold. But you don't chase. You attract. You move with intention. You understand that true leadership isn't about controlling others. It's about mastering yourself. When you have real power, you don't push your way in. The room adjusts to you. And here's the thing. This kind of presence can't be imitated. It can't be borrowed. It has to be earned. It's built in the quiet moments, in the lessons learned, in the fire walked through. The strongest warriors aren't the ones who swing their swords the loudest. They are the ones who know when to wield it and when to wait. So don't explain. Don't justify. Walk like you know who you are. Because when you carry true authority, the world doesn't need you to say a word. It already knows. Iron sharpens iron, and one person sharpens another. Proverbs 27:17. Let me tell you something. No warrior steps onto the battlefield with a dull blade. No craftsman creates a masterpiece with unshaped tools. And no chosen one walks into their purpose without refinement. You weren't just given this awareness. You weren't just handed this perception. No, my friend, this is a skill, a gift. And like all great gifts, it needs to be sharpened. A sword isn't strong just because it exists. It's strong because it has been tempered, tested, and shaped in the fire. And you are in that refining fire. Every lesson, every challenge, every moment of clarity, it's all been shaping you, preparing you, making you sharper, more precise, more unstoppable. Think about an archer. He doesn't just release an arrow and hope for the best. No, he studies the wind. He feels the tension in the bowstring. He waits for the perfect moment to strike. And that's you. You don't just act, you align. You don't just react, you understand. This isn't about rushing, it's about mastery. And mastery takes intention. Mastery requires you to filter out the noise, to quiet the chaos, to focus on the signal buried beneath all the distractions of this world. That's why stillness isn't about doing nothing. It's about tuning in, sharpening your perception, strengthening your ability to see through the fog. Because the ones who are truly powerful, they aren't the loudest in the room. They aren't the ones who scramble in desperation. No, the ones who hold real power are the ones who see when no one else does, who move with precision while the rest waste their energy running in circles. And here's the truth. The answers you seek, they're already there. The patterns, already in place. The puzzle, already laid out before you. But the difference between those who wander and those who find is training, refinement, discipline. The world is speaking. The signs are appearing. The messages are waiting. But only those with sharpened senses will catch them. So, don't rush this process. Embrace it. Lean into the refinement. Take the time to hone your mind, your spirit, your intuition. Because when the moment comes, and trust me, it will come, you won't hesitate. You won't question. You won't second guess. You'll know. And when that time comes, you won't just see the patterns, you'll own them. You won't just be a seeker, you'll be a master. And the world will have no choice but to take notice. Each decision, each realization, shapes the reality unfolding ahead. Nothing is random. Every moment of heightened perception is a ripple in the fabric of possibility, shifting outcomes, rewriting paths. The act of awareness is not passive, it is an act of creation. What is seen, what is believed, what is acted upon, it all feeds into the architecture of the future. The world is not something to be observed from a distance. It is something to be engaged with, sculpted, shaped. Mastery is not about solving a puzzle that already exists. It is about constructing something new from the pieces. This is the difference between those who simply exist and those who mold reality itself. The mind is not meant to be confined. It is meant to expand, to push past limitations, to challenge the assumptions that have been imposed. Transformation isn't a singular event. It is an unending process, an evolution that stretches beyond a single lifetime. Insight leads to action. Action leads to change. And change shapes the unseen forces guiding every step forward. Awareness is only the beginning. True power lies in what is done with it. Knowledge is potential, but action is what brings it to life. The journey is not about reaching an endpoint. It is about continuously uncovering what lies beyond. Growth is infinite, expansion is endless, and every step deeper into understanding is another layer unlocked. The process never stops, it only evolves. The deeper the dive, the clearer the vision, the greater the responsibility to share, to teach, to guide. The world shifts with every insight, every breakthrough, every bold decision made in the name of truth. This is not a path for those who seek comfort. It is a path for those who seek transformation. Reality bends to those who refuse to accept its limits. The journey is far from over. It has only just begun.